Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm going to drop my link if anybody would like to come up. It's going to be there. But good evening. Today, I want to talk about bullying on the job. And it's crazy, but it happens. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm becoming more aware of how bad it really is. When I was in the workforce, I guess I still should be in the workforce, but I don't know what I'm doing right now. Uh, I want to get back in the workforce eventually, but right now I'm going through. I had a real bad accident, so I'm still under doctor's care. But I can't stand on my feet a long period of time like I used to. But this is really. I remember being in the workforce and myself and dealing with bullies on the job over the years. And I used to always say, people, today, people don't stay on jobs long. I don't know why, but my job that I stayed on the longest, I had 23 years of service. And so I'm going to pat myself on the back. My company went overseas and I guess if they were still here, maybe I would still be there. Who knows? I don't know. I went to school and I worked a full time job, and I took classes here and there, and uh, until I got where I wanted to be. But when my company went overseas, that just opened a whole new door for me. I was able to go back to school and finish college and pursue my doctoral degree. So that was truly a blessing for me. Um, just telling y'all a little bit something extra about me. But when I was in the workforce, nowadays y'all just some people just change jobs. They can't stay on the job a good year or two. And I'm like, well, what in the world? I think back then people don't take what they normally take the way we took it back then. Cause I was thinking about I got a child to feed, I got light bill, water bill, rent due, uh, I had car insurance, my car was paid for, so I didn't have a car payment. But I'm like, I got all this. I gotta get my child to daycare, and I just couldn't leave a job like they do nowadays. That just was not an option. Never even crossed my mind to say this job is so bad that I'm just not gonna take it anymore. Um, it has over the 23 years. Nobody has 23 years and then had some horrible stories along the way, unless you just blessed like that. But my first 3 years were okay. I think I was just intimidated the whole time. The boss intimidated. I was scared I was gonna lose my job. But after I had became permanent and they went back and gave me all my temp years, it was just getting a job and going to work every day, doing what you're supposed to do, especially when you have children. And nowadays, people, I don't know if they don't look at that, or it's just rare that people stay on jobs a long period of time. They don't put that long term jeopardy in with the company. And that's something y'all need to challenge yourself with. Stop changing so many jobs and stick it out. Um, 23 years was a long time, but I raised both children at that same job. I just couldn't just leave my job when you got children, uh, and you got bills to pay. It wasn't an option to say I'm gonna quit. What do you mean quit? Quit where? You know, can I get some overtime? That's back then. But over the years, my pay went up, and I was able not to really worry about so much overtime. I was going to school, working, and running another business, my own business on the side at the same time. So back then I was juggling. I mean, I was really juggling, uh, wanting to be my own boss. And so I guess that's what I'm doing today, being my own boss. But I've been my own boss for 23 years, even though I worked for a company for 23. So this was years ago. I've been working, been out of that company now, I guess about 12, 13 years, probably somewhere in there, because I went back to school and got my doctorate degree and my master's. But job bullying. Did I see bullying on the job? Yes, I think everybody sees some type of bullying on the job. I think we all do. Um, but when does bullying go too far? And I think that's what I want to talk about today. We all can see bullying, but when does it go too far? And what do you do when it does go too far? So I had gotten a video that I wanted to share. I actually got two. So this is something new that I'm doing today. I'm learning how to um, combine my videos in with my show. So work with me on this. Give me a little time. It's gonna take me time to sort of comprehend what I'm doing and get good at it. But this is a legislator, and he was talking about a bill. So I want to get deep into bullying on the job today. I also want to show a clip about a young lady who has been bullied on the job and her experience, but also give y'all some guidance about if you are bullied on the job, what do you need to do? What steps can you take? Don't feel like you have to be on your job, go to work every day, and somebody's bullying you. Nobody needs to feel that intense. Nobody needs to work up under that type of stress. Um, there is things that you can do. And those are some of the things that I want to go over with you. But most jobs have a bullying policy in place. I don't know what company you work for. I don't know what their bullying policy is, but most jobs have policies to stop bullying, and a lot of them have zero tolerance. So this the day I sort of found this with this doctor was talking about, and I'm sort of play it. Let me see if I can go back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gary Namey. I'm the National Director of the Healthy Workplace Campaign. This is a message for state lawmakers everywhere in the United States. I beg you, I implore you to consider carrying a piece of legislation that will make such a difference to your constituents. Regardless of what state you're in, regardless of what party you're affiliated with, they're having a terrible time in the workplace. They, your constituents. And by that, I mean they're being bullied. By that, I mean they're being subjected to abusive conduct on a routine basis. Our national research shows that 35% of the U.S. workforce has been bullied. That's 54 million Americans. They know this firsthand. And you add another 17 million who witness it only. And you know then that 71 million Americans have this experience. That means they're in your district without a doubt. Now, they probably haven't come to tell you about it, but there will be a state coordinator at some point approaching you with a request to carry legislation called the Healthy Workplace Bill. Now, that's our legislation designed to stop workplace bullying. Although it doesn't actually use the term workplace bullying in the text, it defines very specifically repeated and malicious, health-harming mistreatment that takes the form of either verbal abuse, threatening, intimidating, or humiliating conduct, or disruptive work interference and sabotage. This bill is legislation that will protect all good employers. Good employers have nothing to fear. In fact, good employers will be exempt from vicarious liability if they just took steps to proactively prevent and correct it by creating policies and procedures and faithfully enforcing them to protect workers who complain of being subjected to abusive conduct. Now, you might think that current discrimination law is adequate. It is not. It does not address same gender and same race types of situations. And 64% of harassment is same gender and same race. And therefore, the laws do not apply. In fact, in only 1 in 5 cases do discrimination laws apply. And the standards for emotional distress are incredibly high, too high of a threshold. This is the bill for the 21st century. This is the bill that will help the workforce adapt to the changing, globalized employer world. People who have sponsored the bill come from all parties. It's been introduced in the reddest and the bluest of all states. So partisanship has nothing to do with this. You have to be in favor of cruelty and abuse to be opposed to this legislation. And we know you're not. So when a state coordinator comes calling, or a volunteer citizen lobbyist asks you to support or sponsor the Healthy Workplace Bill, please comply with their request. We're available at any time to answer your questions, and we'll connect you with your local state coordinator. Read all the details at healthyworkplacebill.org.
Okay. He was just explaining about the new law that they was trying to put into place for workplace bullying.
Okay, you'll see those of us who came in from Sacramento are wearing shirts. Bullying breaks heart.
He was trying to explain the new laws that have taken place when it talks about bullying and what we can do to what employees can do to make sure that everybody is in a safe work environment and they're not being harassed or being targeted. It's targeted behavior, being manipulated, intimidated. And that's basically what he was saying, that the new laws that are trying to come into effect, and they're all over, you know, and it doesn't matter about nationality or what, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, it don't matter. Bullying is bullying, and it needs to stop in the workforce, because so many people are getting hurt daily, and it's people losing their lives. So it's not like I'm just picking on you or intimidating you. It's getting to the point when someone wants to take you up out of here. And that's when it's going overboard, when it gets to the point that someone wants to take your life, because you can't stop. You can't go to work and close your mouth, do your job, and get out of there. When I was working, I was last in and first out. I went in to do a good job. My quality was good. My production was good, and I left. I don't want to know your name. I don't care where you live. I went in to do a job, and I did a great job, and I left. I had other things that I was trying to accomplish in my life. So where my co-worker live or whatever, I didn't get into none of that. I guess I was sort of to myself a lot. The friends I did had, I grew up with them, and I didn't really, those still my friends today, you know. But trying to meet everybody at work and hang out after work and go to everybody's houses and everybody all in your business. And then when you get mad, your business all over the company floor. And then you want to know why, because you talk too much, you know, told them all your business. I just didn't get into that type of environment at work. I went in and did a good job. I spoke to everybody. I was friendly. But other than that, I was in there to do my job and get out of there because I had school or I had to pick up my children or something more positive than negative things. Okay, let's get back to this. When does bullying go too far? I think that if you have been, they say that bullying, most people that has been bullied in high school turn out to be bullies. Some of them do, not all, but some. Okay. And then some of them probably bullied in high school and still bullying in the workforce. When does it go too far? When do you learn to stop? Is it something in that person that just keep going and going and going that you don't know how to stop? You know, that's a mental issue problem. I think it's sad when you are verbal abusive to your coworker or you're trying to intimidate coworkers to make them do what you want them to do. Sometimes it's the supervisors doing it. Sometimes it's other employees trying to intimidate you. They ain't even your supervisor, but they want you to do what they're telling you to do. And I think that's sad. When does it stop? Well, I'm going to give you some things we can do to stop it. It's got to stop. If you're working in that type of environment, you don't want to be in that type of environment. I can definitely understand. Criticizing isn't a place that you want to be in. You want to go in, do a good job. I know all employees do. But it's always somebody on the job that's got to do something they're not supposed to do. I don't know. It's not just on your job. I'm quite sure it's on everybody's job. And if your job, you don't have those issues, then great, kudos to you. But some people are caught up in situations where they're dealing with that type of behavior. Co-workers humiliating them, intimidating them. You get singled out. They said, according to the workplace bullying institution, more than 60 million working people in the United States are affected by bullying. I'm going to read that again. It says, according to the workplace bullying institution, more than 60 million working people, 60 million working people in the United States are affected by bullying. Whoa. Existing federal and state laws only protect workers against bullying when it involves physical harm or when the target belongs to a protected group, such as people living with disabilities or people of color. Bullying can sometimes be hard to recognize because oftentimes it's verbal. It's psychological nature, something in your head. It's things that people say to people that they don't need to say. And so sometimes it's hard to recognize it. when it's in the workplace, because sometimes you hear it and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just targeted at the person they're going after. How to identify workplace bullying, because it affects so many people. One helpful way to identify bullying is to consider how others might feel when they view what you have done to somebody else. So, say I'm sitting at work and I hear this coworker saying something negative to the person beside me. I don't think it's funny at all. I know what they're saying is probably hurting other person's feelings. You got that gut feeling, because if it was said to you, you know it's hurtful to them too. And so, how do you feel about the comment that was made to your coworker? Would you consider it bullying, or would you consider it that's just them? I mean, we got to stop co-signing when people do things that are wrong. You got to stand up for what's right. Got to. Um, I just believe in standing up for what's right. Bullying behaviors don't always have to be verbal. It could be verbal, humiliating, joking, gossiping, other spoken abusive towards somebody, intimidating, related to work performance. Uh, you could be taking credit for something that you didn't do and your coworker did it, but yet you acting like you done it, and you know you ain't did that job, but you're taking credit for it to make yourself look good to the boss. Or you're blaming somebody for something that they didn't do on the job to make them possibly get in trouble. And bullying can lead to lying, because then you will find yourself lying about somebody and what you said wasn't true. So you have to be careful about that. Bullying could also include unrealistic goals. Say, for instance, you're in a workplace, production line, or anything like that, or you're trying to meet a goal at work. They're unrealistic. It's something that you know you can't get. Your boss man know you can't meet that goal, but they're challenging you to do it. But they know you can't do it. That's a form of bullying. Or when your supervisor forcing you to work overtime and you don't want to work overtime. Now, some situations may not always be bullying, because if it's nobody at work, they really do need your help. So I can't consider that bullying when you got a production job, or you're working in a restaurant or something like that, and the stuff has got to get done, and they don't have enough people there. So just because they need for you to work overtime, or they're forcing you to work, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bullying. It could be because they don't have enough workers. So you got to use your own discrepancy there. You can't say, well, they bullying me. No, we just don't have enough people to work, and we really need your help. So you got to sort of use some of this stuff and with common sense, and see what, turn it around. Because some things that I'm reading and I'm like, well, it depends on how I would look at that. I wouldn't look at that as bullying. I may look at that as short staff, and people need your help. Early warning signs of bullying. I'm gonna name a couple of them. If you bullying people at work and your coworkers don't want to hang with you no more because you keep doing it, and you want to know why they ain't hanging around you, you might want to check yourself to see what are you saying to other people, because what you're saying could be hurting other people's feelings. And if that's the case, nobody wants to be around that. They're not trying to lose their job because you want to intimidate somebody or pick on another coworker. So they may shy away from you. It's something to ask yourself. Warning signs. Your supervisor or manager might check on you often, asking you to meet multiple times at work without a clear reason. Asking you to meet multiple times at work without a clear reason. So what are they? They may be calling you in for work. They really don't need you, but they're just intimidating you to sort of make you come in for work. That's not something that they should be doing. If I don't have to work, don't call me in. Or you may be asked to do a new task, a task outside your particular job or what you're normally used to doing. Well, I don't want to do that. You find somebody else. I'm not your mate. So I guess it depends on what type of job that you're holding. And it doesn't matter what position you're in, because anybody can be bullied in the workforce, whether you're in an executive position, I'm gonna get it out, y'all, or whether you're working in the grocery store or in a restaurant, anybody could be bullied. It doesn't matter what line of work you do, what field you're in. You could be a supervisor and your manager could be bullying you. You could be a manager and your general manager may be bullying you. People get bullied from the lowest all the way up to the highest. So supervisor could be bullying you. But what I did find out is that more than 70% of bullies are men. And this was according to a research that was done in 2017 from the Workplace Bullying Institution. They found out that more than 70% of men are bullies. 30% are females. Okay. And 61% of bullying come from bosses or supervisors. I'm going to say that again. 61% of bullying come from supervisors or the boss. So stop bullying your employees. That's too many, 61%. Some people don't need to be in supervision. And I know y'all want to put these people, everybody can't be a supervisor. I'm going to say that again. Everybody cannot be a supervisor. Some positions go to people head and they don't know how to treat people. So if you are a boss and you got people working under you, everybody cannot be a boss. You need somebody that knows how to treat people. If they don't know how to treat people, please don't make them your supervisor, because you're setting the company up for failure. 61% is a lot. 33% come from coworkers. So bullying, most likely 33% are a coworker bullying another coworker, but 61% come from your supervisor. And both male and female bullies are more likely to target women. Now that's deep. Wow. The remaining 6% are people at lower employment level bullies, supervisors, or other below them. These statistics, that's deep when your supervisors are bullying, more bullying. And I'm gonna get on that because everybody don't know how to be supervisors. Even in my line of business, I try to have people come in and help me. When I started up my company and working, because you don't necessarily can do it all at one time, but I'm a landlord too. So being a landlord sometimes can be hectic for me. And I ask people to come in and help me, and then I find out I end up I used to have to do it by myself because the people I would ask to help me turned out to be bullies. And you want to bully everybody else, and that's not what I wanted. Some people when they say when you're making them a supervisor or a manager, that stuff like that go to their head. And they feel like, well, I could boss anybody around. I could make you do this. I could take your job. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's why I say be mindful and cautious of who you make a supervisor. One young lady I just had seeing over the places, and she got beat up. And I'm like, well, what did the girl beat you up for? She said, because I was trying to be like you. Now, that was funny, y'all. I laughed. Oh, gosh, I laughed so hard I was in here crying. I said, you did what? She said, I was trying to talk like you be talking. And she came and jumped on me. I said, why you can't be yourself? You can't be like me. I don't even want to be like me. So you're trying to be like me, and they're going to respect me because they know who I am. They're not going to respect you, and you're on the same level. All you had to do was ask her in a nice way, and it would have got done. But no, you trying to be all big and bad, and the girl slap you down, then I got to go and say, well, look, we can't have this type of behavior because I do zero tolerance. I can't. That's not what I'm looking for. But in the same token, I got to let one go. But the other one, I got to step you down because you don't know how to talk to people. You don't hurt people. Words can hurt people. And please don't try to be like nobody else. If you're a manager, supervisor, please be yourself. Don't hurt nobody with your comments, because that's not what you're there to do. You're there to get a job done, and to get it done in the most productive way as possible, but not to hurt nobody or intimidate somebody. And so I don't, over the years, I just say I do it myself because I don't need nobody hurt. If I say something, they're going to respect me for saying it. They're going to do what I ask them to do. But you doing it and you trying to act like me, you can't act like me because I don't even know how to act like me. I thought that was just foolishness. But it was funny. I mean, it wasn't funny what happened, but it was funny that you told me what you did. I was trying to talk like you. I said, no, you can't do that. You just can't do that. Because somebody retaliated on you for doing that. And after speaking with the lady, I'm like, you can't do that. So just something to be mindful, bringing awareness. Bullying from managers might involve abuse of power. And so if you are a manager and you are bullying your employees, that is abuse of power. If you are shouting and threatening to fire them or demote them, that's abuse of power. If you are denying them time off or transferring to another department, well, I'm gonna have to dispute the time off because, like I say, when I read stuff like that, denying people time off, I got to look at the work job situation. Are you behind? Do you have enough employees? Is this why you're denying people time off? Because you don't even have enough employees to do what you're trying to do. If you need 10 people and you don't have the 5 there, no, I can't give you time off. I don't have enough staff. So that's something that has to be viewed a different way. And transferring to another department, they're not going to transfer you if they short staff. So if they got enough people, they probably would. But if they short staff, that could be debatable. Some bullying can occur between people that work closely to you. Most of the time it does. People that's working in a different department with you, you don't even have that much contact with them. So if you're bullying somebody that's in a different department, it's pretty much spreading rumors, or if you sending bullying emails out, you could lose your job for that. So I hope that's not happening. Low-level employees can be bullied through working above them, show continuous disrespect to their managers. And so employees can be bullies, not just supervisors and managers. Your employees, low-level employees, they're under you, and you're trying to bully the supervisor and the manager by being disrespectful, refusing to do your job task, spreading rumors about a manager. So some of y'all employees, it ain't the manager, it's you. I mean, what are you doing? Are you intimidating your supervisor? Because I've seen that happen on several occasions. You're going to tell the supervisor what they going to do, like you the boss. If they wanted you to be the boss, they'd have made you the boss. But if they didn't make you the boss, they didn't want you to be the boss. That means do what your supervisor say and close your mouth. If you don't want to do what your supervisor say, quit, leave. You got options. But you don't run nobody's plant. It's not your job. It's the company. You're in there to do a job. So respect goes both ways. Employees should respect their employees, but employees need to learn to respect their supervisors and managers. That goes both ways. You got a lot of people that's nasty to the boss for no reason. Or refusing, I ain't doing that today. I'm not doing that. Well, I need for you to go do this. Well, I'm not doing that. But then when you get fired, you acting like somebody done did you wrong. Well, if you can't do your job, what you think they're going to do? They're going to terminate your position. You can't go to work and tell your supervisor what you going to do and what you ain't going to do. If you don't want to work, stay home. Look for a job that you do want to do. But bullying come in all forms. It ain't always the supervisors bullying. It's some of y'all employees be bullying people. Go to work with bullying mentality. And it occurs a lot in the work environment. It's stressful. Some jobs are very stressful. And some jobs have more bullying than other jobs, depending on what type of employee you work for. And I think it all boils down having a clear policy about employee behaviors. So supervisors, maybe that's something, or managers, go over with your employees to gain a better, clear, making sure everybody's on the same page about employees' behaviors. Communication and relationship. Because that definitely needs to take place on jobs. But bullying is serious. It's serious. It can affect you mentally, your mental health. So we're going to look at what bullying can lead to. And why it needs to stop. Why it needs to be controlled. If you're being bullied, you may feel sick. If you're feeling sick with a bunch of anxiety, don't want to go to work, you're dreading, that's physical health. It's affecting your physical. Because how can you go in and do a good job if you don't feel well? Or if your blood pressure is up? That's physical symptoms, which can lead to type 2 diabetes, a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, headaches, decrease in appetite. When it messes with you mentally, you worried about a lot of things that you don't need to worry about. Your mind just wanders, thinking about this, thinking about that. Even when you off work, you're stressed out because of what took place at work yesterday or the day before. So that makes you dread going to work. It makes you want to stay home. And all the employees need their people at work. And so employees, you have got to be more mindful to make sure bullying is not going on in the workforce, on your job, at your company. And if it is, put a stop to it so people will want to come to work. It definitely increased the risk of depression and anxiety. And some people, it's suicidal thoughts. And that's I don't like that. I don't like that, suicidal thoughts. But I have to say it because it's the truth. Low self-esteem. You even end up doubting yourself because you're hurt by what somebody said, something negative to you at work. And so if you are being bullied at work, I apologize to you because I can imagine what that feels like. If it's affecting you in a way that you can't do your job. And if it is affecting you in a way that you can't do your job, then there are things that you need to do so you can put a stop to the bullying. Nobody needs to go to work stressed out, and you don't need to quit your job. You don't need to be thinking about no suicide. You don't need to be distressed and depressed, blood pressure all over the place because somebody keeps saying something negative to you or making you feel that they're trying to intimidate you. Or you losing money at work. You need to tell somebody. You got management, you got human resource. If you don't feel comfortable talking with your supervisor about it, find somebody else in higher up position that you can talk with, a manager, general manager, somebody in a higher position. But whatever you do, don't sit there in silence and nobody knows what's going on. Tell somebody so that they can put a stop to it. And most employees have zero tolerance when it comes to bullying, because if they don't stop it, it's going to increase employees' absentees. So yeah, I'm gonna stop it. I need for you to come to work. I'm gonna have a higher turnover rate. Well, I got to keep hiring people because I got one person bullying my people. I'm gonna get rid of the bully and keep my people that want to come in and work and do a good job for me. I'm losing money, legal costs. So bullying investigation needs to take place. If you got an employee that's bullying people, you've got to look into that. Because it increases employees' absentees. So if you got people that's staying out of work a lot, you might want to check to see why they're staying out of work. What's really going on? The reason they don't want to come to work. At least make sure it's nobody bullying them. So if you are a bully at work, you know eventually you're going to face some consequences. You could be terminated. You could be transferred. You could lose your job. You could even have legal actions against you if you are a bully. So stop it. It's going to be addressed eventually. You can't continue to keep doing it. Go to work, do your job, and stop making other people's lives miserable. Because eventually it's going to come back on you. Another thing that you can do if you're being bullied at work, document it. Start writing down the time, the date, the place, what was said, what did you say, what did the bully say, and you want to start keeping a record of it. Save physical evidence, notes, emails. If they're sending you emails that are threatening, save that stuff because you may need it later on down the road. And it'll help prove that this person is really bullying you. So save evidence, emails. If it's verbal, write it down. Write what was said, the time that it was said. And then you got to report it. Find somebody that you can trust. Human resource, it's a good place to start. Supervisor, if you don't want to talk to your supervisor, you got to find somebody else in higher management to talk to. And have you tried confronting the bully? Don't ever be afraid to have a conversation like, well, why are you doing this? But then you need to be calm and direct and polite. You don't need to do it in a nasty way. You definitely want people around you that can, a supervisor or a co-worker. If this person makes you feel uncomfortable. Don't just go up to them by yourself. Have somebody around you and ask them maybe to find out, why are you doing this? And can you stop? Because this is affecting my job. And I don't like what you're saying. Take another look at your workplace policies. See what the handbooks say, employee handbook. If you're in a good company, most of them have those employee handbooks. They got policy against bullying. Most jobs do. And if all else fail, seek legal action. If all else fail and you've tried everything in your book to stop from being bullied on your job, talk with an attorney. Get advice from a lawyer. Reach out to friends and family, get their advice. And you feel like it's really affecting you mentally, seek therapy. Get a therapist. Yeah, seek therapists, get help. Don't feel like you just have to sit there in silence. Legal rights. There currently aren't any laws against workplace bullying in the United States. However, the Healthy Workplace Bill, first introduced in 2001, aimed to help prevent and reduce workplace bullying and its negativity affected by offering protection to people who experience bullying. It can also help employees create anti-bullying policies and procedures. A lot of states have adopted this bill. That's what the gentleman was talking about in the beginning of the tape. If you want to go back and listen at him, that's what he was reading, the Healthy Workplace Bill. If you witness bullying, speak up, tell somebody, supervisor, management, personnel. Tell somebody so it can stop. Maybe the person is not strong enough to tell somebody, but you witness it, you go tell somebody. Nobody needs to work in a toxic environment. Offer support, listening to your coworker, reporting an incident. So the takeaway from this, bullying is a serious issue. It's very serious in the workplace. It's serious on the job. While many companies have zero tolerance policy, bullies sometimes be heard to recognize or prove, making it difficult for managers to take action. So basically, what they're saying is that sometimes a person is bullying you, but it makes it hard for management to take action because it's like he say, she say. But if somebody is around it and hear it, or you got documentations, you're more likely to be heard and taken serious. I still say, write it down, write what was said down, keep your paperwork. And if it gets to that point and you need to talk with someone, I still say talk with them because it needs to still be stopped. Find out what the bullying policy is. If you've been bullied. And I'm going to always give you the suicide prevention crisis hotline number. If you feel suicidal because you've been bullied at work too much, then please call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. Or you can text 988, which is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. But whatever you do, get some help. Don't feel like you're in it by yourself because you're not. You're not the only one that's been bullied on the job. You just want it to come to a stop. I feel you on that. Keep good notes. Talk with someone higher up. try to use all resources to stop the bullying, because a lot of times it can stop with just going to your supervisor, manager, or personnel. Hopefully that will be the case, because a lot of them do zero tolerance. Nobody's tolerating bullying on the job, and you got people where they don't want to come to work because they're in fear that you may say something. Or at least that's what I hope, if they know about it. But then some people don't say anything about it. And that leads me to the last gentleman I just heard about bullying, and the guy went on the plant, went in there and shot him. They say they got into an altercation, but the big guy, he was a big guy, kept bullying this little guy. And I don't know what altercation they got into at work, but the guy went out there in his car and he got a gun, and he went back in and shot him and killed him in the job. We don't need that happening. So we've got to take bullying serious. And I said, well, how many people? And I was asking the other guy, I said, well, how many people knew it? Did a lot of people know that this guy was bullying him? And he's like, yeah, but nobody was saying anything. Okay, so now this guy been bullied and nobody's saying anything, and now he done went and shot this guy who kept bullying him. So now you got somebody deceased, somebody going to jail, and that's not right, because it could have been stopped. This management know about it. Why didn't somebody tell management? I mean, it's a lot of questions. If more people knew that the guy was bullying him and the bully didn't say anything to management, you seen him do it. You should have said something to management. Yeah, somebody should have said something to management or personnel. So in situations like that, please say something. Nobody needs to lose their life behind a situation like that, or nobody needs to be in jail. So I didn't like that. I don't know if they charged the man with premeditation because you had time to think about it. You went out to your car. I don't know what they did. I haven't followed that particular case. But that happened about maybe a month ago. Wow. So please be mindful. Stop bullying. If you are bullying people at work, don't do that. Don't do something to hurt somebody else's feelings. That's not fair. All right. And I'm going to end this show with thank y'all for showing. Please leave your comments. If you like what I said, hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, tell me what I should add. If you need clarity on something, talk to me. Other than that, y'all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for listening.